Trump's psychopathic behavior is getting worse as he loses more cases in courts, as his authoritarian designs are being resisted by Europe, by Canada, by Mexico, and elsewhere. Says every dictator, I think, ever. That's what he's posting this morning. I think he realizes how utterly pathetic and weak he has been looking as the world has been both horrified.
Remember when we thought Trump couldn't get any weirder? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because Donnie Diapers just had another meltdown. This time, he's ranting about auditing the IRS into oblivion. Yeah, you heard that right, but wait, there's more. Our favorite orange turd is now claiming he's above the law, because apparently in Trump's world, saving the country means you can do whatever the heck you want. Stay tuned as we unpack this steaming pile of crazy. This has always blown my mind a little bit. 91% that watch this show regularly haven't subscribed. Could I ask you for a small favor before we start? If you like this show, what we do here, and want to support us, the free simple way you can do just that is by hitting the subscribe button.
He posted the following: "He who saves his country does not violate any law." Then he posted the following this morning at 10 a.m. "Should I audit the IRS into oblivion?" Essentially saying that he will not follow laws and that he will rule as a dictator.
Guess who's throwing another tantrum? Our favorite orange turd is at it again, and this time he's got his tiny hands in a twist over the IRS. Trump's latest brilliant idea? He wants to audit the IRS into oblivion. Yeah, you heard that right. The guy who's been audited more times than he's had, Big Max, thinks he's gonna turn the tables on the taxman. But here's the kicker. Trump's been under the IRS microscope for years. They've been combing through his finances like they're searching for a needle in a haystack of bad hair decisions. And let's be real, with Trump's creative accounting, it's probably more like searching for a needle in a stack of other needles. So, what would auditing the IRS actually mean? Well, it's about as logical as asking a toddler to babysit themselves. Tax pros are rolling their eyes so hard they might actually see their own brains. One expert said it's like asking a chef to taste test their own cooking. Yeah, because that's totally how quality control works, right? But wait, there's more. Remember when Trump promised to release his tax returns? Pepperidge Farm remembers, and so do we. He's been dodging that promise like it's a draft notice. Maybe he's worried we'll find out he's not as rich as he claims. Or maybe he's just allergic to transparency. Either way, those tax returns are more elusive than Trump's natural hair color. Now, let's talk about why Trump's really on this IRS rampage. It's not because he suddenly developed a passion for fiscal responsibility. Nope, our Donnie Diapers is scared. Scared of what the IRS might find if they keep digging. It's like he's got a financial skeleton closet and the IRS has the key. But here's the real tea. Trump's not actually interested in fixing the system. He's just trying to save his own orange hide. It's classic Trump. When the heat's on, start pointing fingers and yelling louder than everyone else. It's like watching a toddler throw a tantrum in the grocery store, except this toddler has a Twitter account and a disturbing amount of influence. And let's not forget, this is the same guy who's been bragging about how smart he is for paying barely any taxes. So which is it, Trumpy? Are you a financial genius outsmarting the system, or are you the victim of an unfair witch hunt? Pick a lane, buddy. The whole IRS audit rant is just the appetizer in Trump's latest buffet of crazy. It's like he's playing presidential Mad Libs, but instead of fun and games, we get incoherent policy ideas and threats to democratic institutions. Stay tuned, folks, because if history's taught us anything, the main course of bonkers is just around the corner. Well, folks, it looks like our favorite orange turd has decided he's not just above the IRS, he's above the whole dang law. Trump's got a shiny new motto: laws are for losers. I mean, he didn't say those exact words, but he might as well have. Our grumpy Trumpy recently posted that anyone who saves their country doesn't break laws. Where have we heard that before? Oh right, every dictator ever. It's like he's playing a twisted game of dictator or Trump. And let me tell you, it's getting harder to tell the difference. But here's the thing, thinking you're above the law isn't exactly a winning strategy. Just ask Lyndon Johnson. Old LBJ thought he could ignore those pesky constitutional norms, and boy, did that backfire. The American people got so fed up with his shenanigans that they lost faith in the whole government. Talk about a political faceplant. Now, why is Donnie Diaper so desperate to be above the law? Well, let's just say he's got more legal troubles than he has bad hair days. And that's saying something. He's got investigators poking around his business deals, people accusing him of messing with elections, and enough lawsuits to wallpaper the entire Trump Tower. No wonder he's trying to pull the "I'm special" card. But here's the kicker, legal experts are giving Trump's above the law claim a big fat thumbs down. They're saying it's like taking a wrecking ball to the Constitution and the rule of law. Apparently, being president doesn't mean you get a get out of jail free card. Who knew? And get this, Trump's not just playing make-believe president anymore. He's gone full-on wannabe dictator mode. He's using the same old tricks as those historical baddies who claimed everything they did was for the greater good. You know, the ones who ended up in history books as examples of what not to do. But here's where it gets really scary. If we let Trump get away with this "I'm untouchable" nonsense, it's like giving a green light to every power-hungry politician out there. It's like saying, hey, want to ignore the law and do whatever you want? Go for it. Before you know it, we'll be living in a country where the rule of law is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. And it's not just about Trump. This whole mess could set off a domino effect that would make your head spin. Imagine a world where every leader thinks they're above the law. It'd be chaos. We'd have politicians running around like toddlers in a candy store, grabbing whatever they want and throwing tantrums when they don't get their way. Oh wait, that's already happening with Trump. My bad. So what's the deal with Trump acting like a toddler who just got his candy taken away? Why is he so desperate to dodge the long arm of the law? Alright folks, it's time to strap on our amateur psychologist hats and take a peek inside the twisted maze that is Trump's mind. But fair warning, this ain't gonna be a stroll through a well-manicured garden. Nope. We're talking full-on jungle expedition here, complete with ego vines, paranoia quicksand, and narcissism-eating plants the size of Trump Tower. Now, we've all seen Trump's recent antics, right? The guy's been acting nuttier than a squirrel's winter stash. But here's the million-dollar question. Is this just Trump being his usual self, or has our favorite orange turd finally lost his last marble? Let's start with the elephant in the room, Trump's ego. This isn't just your run-of-the-mill self-esteem we're talking about. No siree. Trump's ego is so big, it probably has its own zip code. Experts say he's got something called narcissistic personality disorder. Fancy words for this guy loves himself more than Kanye loves Kanye. But wait, there's more. Trump's not just in love with himself, he's also scared of his own shadow. The guy's got a growing list of enemies longer than his tie collection. And don't even get me started on his conspiracy theories. If you believe Trump, the world is out to get him, probably because they're jealous of his very good brain. Now all this legal trouble he's in, it's like pouring Tabasco sauce on an already spicy situation. The stress of investigations and potential charges is making Trump act more bonkers than usual. It's like watching a toddler who missed his nap and ate all the Halloween candy. You know it's gonna end badly, but you just can't look away. But don't take my word for it. The experts, you know, those annoying people with actual degrees and stuff, they're worried. They're saying Trump's behavior isn't just weird, it's downright dangerous. One shrink even said Trump's mental state makes him more of a threat than any previous president. Yikes. And let's not forget about Trump's cheerleading squad. His inner circle and supporters are like enablers at an addiction support group, except instead of helping, they're handing out free samples. They keep feeding into his delusions, telling him he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, which, let's be honest, Trump probably thinks he invented. But here's the million-dollar question. Has Trump always been this way, or is he getting worse? Well, let me tell you a little story. Back in '94, Trump had a meeting where he showed all the emotional stability of a cartoon character. He needed constant praise and couldn't see past his own nose. Fast forward to today, and it's like watching that same cartoon character, but now he's in HD and someone spilled coffee on the control panel. Trump's speech patterns are a dead giveaway. He talks about himself in the third person more than a toddler does. Trump this, Trump that. It's like he thinks he's some kind of superhero. Spoiler alert, he's not. Now, here's the scary part. Trump's mental state isn't just a personal problem. It's not like when your weird uncle starts wearing tinfoil hats to family dinners. No, this is a national security issue. We're talking about a guy who has control over the most powerful military in the world. It's like giving a toddler the nuclear codes and hoping he doesn't mistake the big red button for a candy dispenser. Alright folks, let's talk about the MAGA faithful. You know, those folks who'd probably vote for Trump even if he was caught wearing a tutu while robbing a bank. Despite all the crazy stuff we've seen, about 40% of Americans still think Trump's doing a bang-up job. It's like they're watching a completely different movie than the rest of us. So what's the deal with these Trump diehards? Well, it turns out there's some actual science behind this madness. Psychologists say Trump's got this cult leader thing going on. He's like a charismatic used car salesman, but instead of selling lemons, he's peddling alternative facts and conspiracy theories. And boy, are people buying it. Here's the kicker. These supporters aren't necessarily dumb. They're just really good at mental gymnastics. It's called cognitive dissonance, and it's like their brains are doing backflips to make sense of Trump's nonsense. When Trump says something bonkers, his supporters don't think, wow, that's crazy. Instead, they go, how can I make this make sense? It's like they're playing a never-ending game of Twister with reality. But wait, there's more. These folks aren't just living in their own little world. They've got their own media ecosystem too. It's like they've built this giant echo chamber where Fox News and Facebook memes bounce around all day. Anything that doesn't fit their worldview gets labeled as fake news faster than you can say kafif. And let's not forget the owning the libs factor. For some of these MAGA types, supporting Trump isn't even about Trump anymore. It's about sticking it to those uppity liberals with their fancy college degrees and avocado toast. They'd probably set their own hair on fire if they thought it would annoy a Democrat. But here's where it gets real. Some former Trump supporters are starting to wake up and smell the kofave. They're realizing that maybe, just maybe, hitching their wagon to a guy who thinks windmills cause cancer wasn't the smartest move. These ex-MAGAs are spilling the tea, and it ain't sweet. They're talking about how supporting Trump messed up their relationships and even their mental health. It's like they joined a cult and now they're in recovery. For those still on the Trump train, though, it's getting lonely. Their unwavering support is costing them big time. Thanksgiving dinners are turning into political battlegrounds. Friendships are ending faster than Trump's marriages. It's like they're in an abusive relationship with a politician and they just can't quit him. But here's the thing, Trump's base might be shrinking, but the ones who are left are digging in their heels harder than ever. It's like they're doubling down on a bad bet. Trump could probably shoot someone on Fifth Avenue. Oh wait, he already said that. Well, you get the idea. Folks, it's time to face the music. Trump's mental state isn't just a punchline anymore. It's a real problem. A recent poll showed that 62% of Americans think Trump's noggin isn't fit for presidential duties. That's more people than those who prefer pineapple on pizza. But here's the kicker. We can't keep treating this like it's just another episode of The Apprentice. Trump's descent into La La Land isn't just entertainment, it's a threat to our democracy. We're at a crossroads, people. We can either keep laughing at Trump's antics or take them seriously, but we can't do both. So as we head towards 2024, let's remember, the joke might be on us if we don't wake up and smell the kafef. Don't let Trump's Twitter tantrums distract you from the real issues. It's time to get serious about our democracy, or we might find ourselves in a reality show we can't turn off.